Bye. Yeah, ready to go. We have a lot to get to today. We have the Heat last night opening up their season. Tony won me some money. Lucy's quarterback is coming back. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Have we determined where Lucy's going this weekend, by the way?
Oh, yeah. What did the poll say? Is it final?
It is final. Well, I haven't checked it, but we already booked the flight. So based off of when I checked
could have changed overnight.
Yeah,
wait a second.
Yeah, could have changed.
I thought the listeners were deciding for
they
you.
They did. The first listeners that voted decided.
All right.
The first segment.
The first batch, right.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna find the results, and then we'll find out if you booked a flight to the wrong place. Because if you did, you're gonna have to rebook. Like
Excellent
you can't
idea.
tell the audience that they can tell you where to go and then go somewhere else.
We'll get to Billy. He was on the call last night for FIU. We'll get to that as well. The Heat had a 19-point lead with like 7 minutes to go. It got down to 1 with about a minute to go, and then no one else scored. That was essentially the game last night.
Last night was one of those ones, it felt like a loss. If you listened to sports radio this morning, it felt like they lost. They barely won. Kyle Lowry played 30 minutes, took one shot, 0 for 1. It's just, they won the game, but there seems to be some issues here going forward.
I said it yesterday, Tony. I'd be interested in your opinion here. I don't think the Heat are going to be very good. I just they lost the offseason in a way that Pat Riley has never lost the offseason.
He loses this offseason the same way every offseason. What are you talking about?
I mean, Billy, they got Jimmy Butler, they got LeBron, they got Wade. Okay. He's done some great things.
They missed Bradley Beal, they missed Giannis, they've missed Gordon.
But Giannis was never
like 7 times.
Giannis was never on the table to be
Guys,
to be
if
fair.
we're gonna,
please shut up.
If we're gonna do win-loss records,
respectfully,
if we're gonna do win-loss records,
you can't do that
for the Heat in off seasons. They've definitely won some, Billy. You can say that they might be close to 500, but to say that they lose more than they win is not true.
This one was an L.
They definitely lose more than they win. They've won some, but they definitely lose more than they win in off seasons.
I disagree.
Well, that's because every time they sign anyone, you guys throw a parade like they signed Michael Jordan.
Right.
When they've done it once with LeBron James.
I mean, in fairness, they did it twice. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy
we
Butler's
didn't think
not Michael Jordan.
No,
we can stop right there.
He's
Jimmy
not LeBron
not
James. Okay, no one is Michael Jordan. I agree with you on that.
Jimmy Butler has been great for the Heat.
Billy,
Jimmy Butler has kept the Heat relevant.
Right, but if you remember, we had Stan Van Gundy on, and I agreed with him where he said if Jimmy Butler's the best player on your team's not very good. Jimmy Butler has been the best player on this team and gotten them to 2 NBA Finals and to the Eastern Conference Finals.
But they need a piece to get over that hump.
Yeah, it's
we
not
agree.
about, for me, this is not about Jimmy Butler and Bam.
Same.
It's about the rest of the pieces. Like Jimmy and Butler and Bam are fine pieces up there. It's just, can Tyler Herro be the next guy? He shot a ton last night. I think he took like 25 shots.
7 for 24 last night.
7 for 24, so inefficient.
Yep.
That's the key. Can Tyler Herro take the step? Can he play any defense? That's the kind of stuff. And Kyle Lowry, I mean, I already missed Gabe Vincent. Max Strus went off last night for 27 points.
You saw what he did in Cleveland?
Like 5 threes.
I was shocked that he was a Cavalier. I mean,
really?
Yes, I had no idea.
I just think it's going to be interesting to see how this Heat season plays out because I think a lot of people are feeling like you, Stugotz. Like there's nothing about this team that looks better, so it's just where's the piece going to come from? Where's the move? Is there a move to be made for this team?
They were expecting Tyler Herro to be that next piece that would fill in and score that 20-some-odd points per game. Pat Riley said in the press conference, hey, we need another 20-point-per-game scorer. It can't be Jimmy. It can't be Bam. They already do that. We need Tyler to come in, play massive minutes, score a ton because that's what he's here to do. That's why they paid him $100 million, right? 7 for 24 last night against the Pistons, who are not good.
It's one game.
It's one game, of course.
One game.
But Cade Cunningham had 30 points. Cade Cunningham looked great.
Jeremy Taché is so mad at me via text right now.
Really?
Just because we're coming out negative towards the Heat. Yeah. They are 1-0 in a couple weeks. We're gonna look back on this game. No one's gonna think about.
They squandered a 19-point lead,
but they won. So who cares?
No, I know they won, but my larger point about the Heat and why I don't think they'll be that good is because the Celtics and the Bucks are overwhelming, especially Boston.
We'll find out tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Billy. When
Porzingis look good.
The Heat are tied for first in the East right now.
Right. You're right. They're the 1 seed.
That's correct.
Tied for 1 seed.
You think it's too early to react because the Bulls had a players-only meeting after their blowout loss last night.
No way.
The earliest players-only meeting in the history of sports. They did. Players only. Sort things out.
Who's the head coach?
I have no idea.
Billy Donovan,
Oh, boy.
Hot
BD.
seat. It's
Billy
hot
D.
seat. One game in, you're in the hot seat.
He's still the coach of the Bulls?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Lucy, you just did the Gator Chomp over there. Is that where you will be going this weekend? Because I have the results of your poll.
It should be.
It is. That's where you should be going.
What
That's
was
where
the final number?
I believe it was 57%. Hold on. I need to
It
look
was
for the little
closer than
X.
I thought.
Yeah,
I thought it would be a blowout for Georgia, Florida.
57.8%. Do you like traveling to places that are closer? Because this is an easy travel for you.
That'd be a weird
Is-
answer if she's like, I prefer the longest
Well,
flight.
no. Like,
I think it sort of depends. So the reason that I was like, I wasn't really leaning one way or the other, but I like going to home games more than I like going to neutral site games.
that makes sense.
Because the atmosphere is better. I like seeing the stadium and the campus and all that stuff. So that's like why Utah was even on this list, and that game is a lot better. But I don't mind being close. I'm very tired. I'm on the road all the time, so it is nice when my flight's 1 hour and not 4.
Chris, are you still scared of Bill Belichick? Like
No.
when he comes into town, strolls into town, are you scared of Belichick?
I know. We're not doing that thing anymore of like, he's going to take that
I
one
know.
thing away. Has he been taking the one thing away this season?
He has, but they just haven't been good enough to overcome that.
Right.
But
Yeah, his offense.
he's never beat Tua.
Right. And the Dolphins have always been good against the Patriots and Belichick,
Well,
even
not-
when Brady was here.
Not
No,
always.
They were
down
At
here.
home,
Down
yeah.
here,
at
yeah.
home, yes.
The Dolphins are becoming the team that you just have to look at the injury report before betting on them or watching them play. Like Tyreek now is having may not play this Sunday. It's a
Right.
hip issue, which is terrifying for me personally because he's on my fantasy team. But
Good game to rest, though. I mean,
It is a good game
I
to
can't
rest.
believe I'm saying that about Belichick. I mean, come on.
They looked good last week.
honestly,
Mac Jones looked good last week.
He did.
I think Connor Williams might be more important than Tyreek Hill to this team.
That's a stupid
And
thing to say.
I'm telling you, dude,
That's a really ridiculous
Dude.
thing to say.
the Eichenberg at center.
Yeah.
It's like me playing center. Dude. It is so
I thought about that
bad.
actually.
It is so
Put
bad.
that on the poll, please.
Obviously, I'm being a little like I'm trying to just do a thing. Like Tyreek's obviously great, but it's just this offense. Like if you tell me Teron Armstead and Connor Williams are playing,
Right.
and Waddle's I feel like our receiving core is deeper than our offensive line. Is my point.
Tyreek Hill's the most important person on the Dolphins. More important than Tua.
He might be the most important guy in the league.
I think we could answer that question on Sunday. If the Dolphins' offense looks great on Sunday without
Right.
Tyreek, the system is still. I'm not saying you're wrong. We'll see what it looks like without Tyreek, but I think the argument can be made that Connor Williams, and Armstead are more important to this offense because there's less depth at offensive line. We have receivers. We just got Chase Claypool. Like I feel like the receivers can do enough.
Right.
I need Connor Williams to play.
Okay. But you could play center for the Dolphins, is what you're
I
saying.
played center
Right.
this past Sunday against the Eagles.
Really?
Eichenberg. I love the guy.
Put it on the poll. Could Chris play center for the Dolphins?
No. Did Chris play center?
Okay, sorry. Did Chris play center last week for the Dolphins?
Is this
And will he
gonna-
start again this week?
Is this going to lead to some sort of contest between you and Eichenberg, where like you guys are lined up against each other and you're pushing each other?
No.
No, because they'd both be playing the same position, so it'd be like a long snap
you
or
know
like
what
a
you guys
snap
should do?
contest.
A snap off?
You guys should do like the fake sumo suits against each other, because that's like safe. If
sure
it's
that
just
would
the
go
two
well
of
for
you,
me.
well, if it's just the two of you against each other, he's going to destroy you. But if there's padding, at least it's somewhat safe.
You know what, Billy? I'm in.
All right.
A feud with Eichenberg?
No, I'll sumo wrestle Eichenberg.
Fake sumo wrestling.
If he'll
Yeah.
agree to it.
If he'll agree to it.
He won't.
The challenge has been issued.
When's the bye week?
He
I'm
actually
on
has
this.
to play center for the Dolphins.
They're on week like 13, I think.
It's wild. Usually you get the bye
Late
week.
bye, yeah.
Usually you get the bye week after like the game in Europe. and
Yeah, they should-
don't
they-
have a
They
bye
haven't been
game.
doing that this year.
That's
a
what
lot of
you
teams come
should
back
do.
from London and play another game right after.
Yeah. Interesting. Billy, how was your FIU game last night?
It went well, I think. Yeah, I was a little more serious this time, I think, but I had a good time. I like doing it.
right.
Here's a stat. You want a stat of the day? Do we have to do a stat of the day? Is there a sponsor?
We can do a stat of the day.
You want to do
Wow.
one?
Let me
Let's
get
give
that.
let's give an extra stat of the day this week to our sponsor.
I got it. Let's do it.
All right.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day.
Stat of the day brought to you by Venmo. Your money, your move.
All right, today's stat of the day is courtesy of Taylor Vipolis.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
In games that I have called,
TV?
FIU has been outscored 42-0 in the first quarter, which he made sure to send me while I was calling the game. Yeah.
It's a good stat, though.
That is a good stat.
A crazy stat. Because coming into it, we're like, last time didn't start out great, 21-0 in the first. Can't happen again, right? Surely can't happen again. Happened again. Yeah.
Pause up.
Pause up.
So did they make you be more serious, or you felt it like in yourself to be like, you know what, I'm going to take this a little bit more serious?
No, they didn't make me be more serious. I just, I had some thoughts.
You were free to do what you want to do in that broadcast.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, I'm not there to make a mockery of the whole thing.
Respect the booth.
I'm not the clown referee. That's a job. That's not mine. That's,
okay.
You'd
be a great clown referee, by the way.
Right.
I don't
You'd
know.
be an incredible clown referee.
I don't think I have the right energy and temperament to
No,
be
you
a
were
good
born
clown.
for that, Billy. Yeah.
No, I don't think that I could be a good clown. I
Really?
really don't.
Huh.
I mean, I am one, but I don't think I could be one.
Right.
I couldn't be a clown at a kid's party. I don't think, because I can't muster up that fake energy.
I could be a clown.
Right. So
You
I.
could. Chris
Yeah.
could
So could I.
obviously.
I'd be a great
yeah.
clown.
Back in my day, right?
Yeah.
You'd be the clown that
Smoking a heater.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. With the 5 o'clock shadow clown beard. You'd be like the disgruntled clown.
Empty
Right.
bottles of liquor just in
Fair.
your car.
I'll take it.
Degenerate clown.
Can't even argue it.
You go and do it. You're like going through the motions on the tricks, whatever. A kid
Right.
comes over. You try to sell him beer. And then you show him how all the
You
tricks
have
are
me
done.
selling little kids beer?
Yeah, because you're not going to give it to them. I mean, there's money to be made there.
You're right.
Or have the kids steal a beer from the dad in the cooler, like, hey, go give me your dad's beer
Yeah,
real quick.
exactly.
Right. Or sell them beer. I think Billy's on to something,
Yeah.
though. Have
Sell
a
them their own beer. You
have
go,
like
you
a bar
steal,
set up next to
you
me.
steal it from the dad's fridge and you sell it to the kids. You show up at the 7-Eleven and you have your ID. You walk outside and you're you hand it to them behind the side.
Actually, Tony, I'll combine it. Go steal your dad's beers, bring them over here. I'll sell them to another kid.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Or another dad.
Yeah, or another dad. So we have an assortment of sounds from Billy doing the
Do we?
FIU game. Yes, we do.
Wow, thank you for your work on that, Billy. I know you went to a broadcast, you were out late, and then you cut your own tape. I mean,
All right.
imagine, you're incredible, dude.
Actually, last night, hey guys, you want a tease of what's to come
Thank you, Tony.
later this week on the show? We're going to be revealing the first time this season's BCS later this week on God Bless
Yes.
Football. That's what I was doing last night.
Yes.
I was
The real BCS.
yes, the real BCS.
Because we talked about the fake BCS earlier, this
Miami
month.
was number one. It's
Right,
the only
right. That
time we
was the
talked
fake
about
one.
it. Yes,
clearly
right.
flawed. Clearly
Right.
flawed.
This is the real
That
BCS,
BCS.
Billy, Chris, and Stugotz BCS.
Some people, yes, exactly right.
Okay.
Some people wait around for the CFP rankings.
Right.
Not us. BCS
Nope.
is out here bright and early. We're going to get it to you before the CFP rankings are out.
That's
officially.
right. And we've already expanded our playoff.
We haven't.
Oh.
Well,
We did before anyone else
yeah.
did.
Well, our
Yes.
playoff was always bigger than the other one. Our playoff, as everybody knows, just a reminder, is 6 teams.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So a standard to any pregame show is the keys to the game.
Oh God.
Let's listen to Billy Gill.
Billy Gill, your keys to the game.
Multiple keys today,
Multiple.
AJ.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think that the guys got to stick to the game plan, AJ. Play with a chip on their shoulder, win the real estate battle, stay hungry. When the meal's on the plate, eat.
Stick to the game plan. Win the real estate battle. Eat. Meal on the plates.
Yeah, when it's there, you got to eat. Yeah.
Have to eat. Gotta have calories.
Solid. I mean,
I stand by that.
do you?
I do.
Well, you have to.
When the meal's on the
They're
plate,
your
eat.
keys to the game.
Yeah.
Right. You can't bail on your keys to the game.
I'll
Billy.
tell you what. Yesterday, one of the keys from one of the other broadcasters was
Right.
win the time of possession, which they did.
TOP.
Right.
But lost by 25. But don't let that score fool you. The game was closer than that score indicates.
It's impossible.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's really not. Stugotz, there was one of the worst, and I'd hate to be like the officials, the referees screwed us. One of the worst calls I've ever seen, where they called kick-catch interference. So, essentially, the punt returner fumbled the ball, and they said that he interfered with the play, that the defense interfered with the play, leading to the fumble that FIU recovered and would have been on the 30-yard line and could have made it a one-possession game with either a field goal or a touchdown. So they came all the way back. Well, they didn't, but they could have come all the way back and made it a one-score game.
Right.
Yeah. And then you see the replay. No one touched the guy. No one was anywhere near him. It was a horrific call.
Did you get irate on the broadcast? Did you start ripping people?
No, I'm measured. When I do the broadcast, I kind of keep the emotions in check because I'm there to paint a picture,
Of course. Yes.
It's not a self-portrait.
Yes.
It's a picture of what's going on.
Attaboy.
Let's hear Billy paint.
First down. Jacksonville State Court, you mentioned it a few minutes ago, fastest tempo in the country. They average 20 seconds per play.
What's the rush? It's a long game. I stand by that, too.
Lucy is cackling over there. In a good way, though, right, Lucy?
You are great. I listen to every single time you do
It's so
it.
great.
Well, so if you're wondering how did they win the time of possession battle and still lose by 25, it's because of that very stat where they were averaging like plays every 20 seconds. So they were in and out. They were quick to score.
I need more.
Took a home run shot, but good coverage in the secondary there, and it'll be second down.
That's all right. You don't have to complete that for it to be a really positive play for the Panthers, because you now put that in the mind of Jack State. Make him think about it. Tarnu was tremendous there in phase. It came behind him so he could easily knock it down with his back. That's still good for FIU.
Would have been better if they completed it, though.
Yeah.
We would have preferred that.
Yeah.
It would have been a touchdown. It was a play in the end zone. It would have been a lot better.
That's a good incompletion right there.
But a completion better. Yeah.
Wait a second. Can I hear the pros do that again? Because Billy's right. I mean, you nailed it. I need to hear that sound again. I want to hear that clip.
Took a home run shot, but good coverage in the secondary there, and it'll be second down.
That's all right. You don't have to complete that for it to be a really positive play for the Panthers, because you now put that in the mind of Jack State. Make him think about it. Tarnu was tremendous there in phase. It came behind him so he could easily knock it down with his back. That's still good for FIU.
Would have been better if they completed it, though.
Yeah.
We would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rare good incompletion.
Bit of a Bishop to Rook 9 there by Billy on the broadcast.
Well, you put it in their head. But
Right. Do those guys hate you? Or
I always do wonder. I think AJ's fine. I always wonder if, I don't know if Corey Brooks likes me or not.
more?
AJ, were you asking us about our Halloween costumes because you wanted us to ask you?
No, I'm just selfless and love to inquire of my friends.
Okay. Well, what are you going to be?
See, I don't know if when does Halloween fall on? A Tuesday?
The 31st.
1st and 10 at 3:11. Toss play.
I stand by that one, too.
So helpful.
Same day every year,
It
actually.
was Halloween night last night.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you dress up?
I didn't. I didn't know.
You should have been dressed up in the boots
Well,
when they cut over to you.
I was wearing a borderline Hawaiian shirt, so you could say I was dressed up, but it's just because I like the fabric. Very
Really?
comfortable. Yeah, it's really comfortable.
Borderline Hawaiian shirt. What's borderline?
It was
about
floral print. TJ Maxx, great price.
Great deals.
I'm actually stuck with that because I wore it the day that we did company pictures. So that was actually my credential picture for a lot of things. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which was better than what Hildy and Kristen used to do, which was when I was credentialed for Marlin spring training games. They used to submit my 8th grade football picture, which is how is this even allowed? So I would go, and it would be a child's picture for me every time I got a credential. It was a great prank, but kind of annoying when I'm trying to be taken seriously.
I think I just heard Kristen laughing out there.
Oh,
great.
she's the worst.
Oh, Kristen loves Billy.
The worst. She's left-handed, I found out today.
What?
Just a fun aside.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. We can see
There's
Billy
the shirt.
up here.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God. That's great.
Yeah. Comfy shirt.
You're really comfortable in that shirt. You got it.
I almost
How
wore
many
a suit.
buttons? How many
I know,
buttons
seriously,
open here?
Billy showing some chest.
I was going to wear a suit yesterday just to surprise them when I got there wearing a suit.
Were they wearing Halloween costumes?
No, they were
Okay.
they were a little dressed down, little polo shirts. We were
All
talking to AJ. He's like, I used to wear a suit to every game, and I'm like, AJ, buddy, dress for the job you want, not the one you have. You should still be wearing a suit. What are we doing here?
One more, please.
It's a simple call. I mean, Grayson James is 6'3". That's 3+ yards of quarterback that you can just push ahead.
Well, that'd be 9 feet. It was 3 yards.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's bad math. Wow. 2 yards, 2+ yards.
That guy hates you.
I think he does.
That guy hates
Hey,
you.
Billy, I got to tell you something. You are great.
You know when I sensed that he hated me is when I said that they forced a turnover on downs. He's like, it's a punt. I was like, okay. I mean, you're right, but my point was.
Hates you. Our point is they hate you.
Yeah, probably.
One more? We have more? Give it to me.
The holding penalty has been an Achilles heel for weeks, and that's really the first one that's had any impact.
Yeah, tough timing there, though. 2nd and 14 now. It negates a tremendous individual effort from Owens.
Well, it's a team sport, so.
Do you just undercut him at every word?
That's
that
what he
says?
does, Tony.
I
Aren't
know.
you used to
It's
it?
I know, but it's a broadcast.
I think no.
I think that Taylor got like all the ones that I did because I really didn't do it that much yesterday. My favorite thing that I don't think we get to is in the post-game show. I found out that AJ's girlfriend is a dentist, so we were just talking about dentistry for a while.
There's nothing like a play call correction.
Well, that'd be 9 feet. It was 3 yards.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's bad math.
Wow.
We're making it seem like the quarterback's 9 feet tall. That's I'm trying to paint a picture here.
So how did he go
right
from
to left on the radio dial?
Of course.
That is true. People were watching. People listening to that are like, "There's a 9-foot quarterback out there."
Yeah. I also at one point, guys,
They're doing math.
I have a confession to make. At one point, I said that I suffer from gigantism. I don't. Just to clear that up.
So people thought you were 9 feet tall.
Well, because that's what people were saying the last time, because Taylor was walking around and we were doing a video before the game, and I was talking to, like, the kickers or whatever, right? And I don't know if it was the camera angle or what it was, but I seemed to be towering over them. And people thought that I was 6'6" because they looked up the kicker and it said that the kicker was 5'10". And I'm like 6'1", maybe on a good day, maybe 6'2" if I'm wearing my heels, right? So I'm walking around and people think that I'm 6'6" because they were going by that height. So then they pointed that out, and I didn't want to say that the kicker is not actually 5'10", so I just said that I suffer from gigantism, which I don't. I made that up. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everyone out there that does suffer from that.
All right, back with hopefully more Billy Gill sound after this.
Yesterday, Stugotz, we had Chris make an offer that I believe was one of the most insincere offers that's ever been made, but also like a hilarious checkmate move by him because no one will ever take him up on that offer. So Chris texts us at like 6 a.m. and is like, "My daughter's sick.
Right.
But if you want, I can bring her in because there's no one to watch her." So naturally, everyone will say, "No, don't do that. Like,
Right.
just stay home with your daughter. It's fine."
He knows the answer before he says it.
100%.
He looks dedicated. He looks like he's doing everything he can to get to work because he knows that we have a skeleton staff the last 2 weeks.
That's the reason I made that offer.
But
My daughter's been sick before, and usually it's my daughter's sick, I'm not coming in.
But admit that was a BS offer. You were at no point would you ever think like if Stugotz would have been like, "Yeah, bring in Grace."
I was tempted. No, I was tempted to do it.
Sick
I
and
was.
get everyone sick in the office. That's a great idea.
If the answer was, we literally just have Tony in the back room today, I'll come in because we need people.
Yeah. I wanted to know the plan once you got here with your sick daughter.
Well, Willow would have watched
Sits
her.
out there with Kristen.
What do you mean? Did you ask Kristen?
No, exactly. That's
right.
It was too early to text Kristen.
Dude, I literally, you want to know the thought process
Sits out there with Kristen.
I had the idea of
Get her sick?
parking right outside the studio.
And leaving your child in a
with the
locked
car on.
What?
No.
Stop talking.
No.
Stop talking.
With Chris-
Stop talking.
Kristen
I want to hear this.
Stop talking.
Kristen
They're going to
is
take
out
your
there.
child from you.
Kristen
Stop
is
talking.
out there.
Right.
No.
So you have
Really?
Kristen watching your kid
The
in the
car is
car
on, though.
outside in the
My
garage.
daughter would love that.
No.
3 straight
No.
hours with her tablet?
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
Lucy is shocked.
Yeah, no, don't say.
I'm just saying the things that went in my head. I'm like, how can we do this?
Right.
Keep them in your head.
Lucy,
You may lose your children. Keep them in
thoughts,
your
please, because you're just sitting there staring at Chris in amazement.
You were just gonna leave your daughter in a
Look,
car for 3
you
hours?
guys- all
Or
right,
you
there's
gonna
a
leave
big
the car?
difference.
Car was on.
They're trying to turn this into a hot day,
Yeah.
no air conditioning.
The car's on.
It is
No.
a covered
Car's on, max
No.
AC. We
max
get it.
AC.
Okay.
I'm just trying to
You're
keep
not
my
that
daughter
evil. I know.
isolated
Right.
from everybody, but yet still safe.
No.
Right.
Are you saying my daughter's not safe in a car?
No.
Right
You know
outside.
why?
If
Why would-
Kristen is
Alone?
standing
You
outside-
climb
No.
in the front seat, put her foot on the brake, and shift
not
gears.
a
Exactly
dog.
right.
But he has Kristen out there watching the car and his
What does a
daughter.
dog have to do with
I
it?
think that a child is more capable of doing that than a dog.
I
What are you
would-
talking about?
No, my daughter knows
If your
not
dog
to
can
jump
drive a
into
car,
the
that's
front
incredible.
seat and like play with all the buttons, whereas a dog might just start like running around the whole car.
Right.
My daughter knows what buttons not to touch because she's touched them before, and I say, "Don't touch those buttons."
Oh,
Right.
I have a question for you.
But Kristen has important things to do around
Look,
here.
I was just
Just watch
saying,
your kid.
in the worst case
could
scenario,
sit.
how
Right.
could we do this? I know you're not going to want my daughter in the common area. Like, work. How could I come to work today?
So why was your first instinct car and not just like put her in the back room?
Oh, no, that was just because she still has to walk through. There's still like that. She's still in this area.
You were never going to bring her.
I
Nor
would've
should
brought
you
her.
have.
No,
Right.
I would have if you guys were like, we literally have no one to do like we don't have people here. Like, usually we have 58 people.
No, we appreciated that part of
Right.
it.
And it
but
was genuine. I knew you guys
no
would
one
say
wants
no.
your sick daughter here.
I will admit, I knew you guys would say no.
See? That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
But I
All
was
right.
being genuine in if you
I
needed
believe
me,
that.
I was going to come in with
I
my sick
believe
daughter.
that. I do believe
and that
that.
was genuine. Like,
Okay.
I knew I was going to get the answer.
I
no.
should have said yes.
I can't believe that the thought process was, tablet car, 3 hours, we're good.
Yeah, with someone key thing here. Someone out there watching her the
Key
entire
thing,
time.
the AC's on. That's the
That
most
that
important part.
Car is
is
on.
the key thing. Thank you,
Car's
Tony.
on,
That's
Car's
the
on.
AC's blasting.
AC's blasting, right.
And someone is standing out there just staring at her from the outside
A
of the car.
smart man once told me, never ask a question you don't already have the answer to.
This guy gets it.
Chris asked a question he already knew the answer to. That way he texted and then went right back to sleep because he knew nobody was going to say yes.
right.
Yeah, but it was a stupid ass question.
I wish I got to go right back to sleep. Honestly, my daughter, she was one of these sicks where she couldn't go because she was coughing and sneezing.
Sure.
But her energy level wasn't down, so she was just all. Stugotz called me at 1 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah, he was frantic.
I was like,
He
I have had a terrible day.
Right.
Most people are like, oh, you got out of work. It was like, no.
Right.
I mean, I hate to say terrible day because I was with my daughter,
Yeah.
but she was just all over the place.
Well, you're looking-
Sneezing, running around, wanting to go places. I'm like, you're sick. We can't go anywhere.
Well, he started the conversation
Jesus
by
Christ.
saying, my daughter is just running all over the house. And I said, I thought she was sick.
I'm like, she is. But
Right.
sometimes you just like have.
So sick enough to stay home from
she was
school, but not
sneezing
sick
and
enough to
coughing.
where she's not going to play while
Yeah.
she's home. Right.
Right.
You
Which
look,
is don't, she was faking.
Which
it.
I was happy.
so
No,
bad.
you can't fake that stuffed upness
Got
that
it.
she is.
looks so bad right now.
I have
look
we've
great.
never
No,
had a
you don't.
disclaimer on the screen before, so we'll just say that.
Well, this is because you guys do this thing of you said kid in a car, and I'm like, I never said anything
I didn't
about
do
without air
anything.
conditioning. Billy,
it
you
was
paint
Billy
a
and
picture.
Tony.
Billy's like, stop talking. They're gonna take your kids. It's
They
like,
are gonna take your
If
kids.
you listen to what I'm saying,
I'm just painting pictures, man, not self-portraits. I have
get that stupid disclaimer off the screen.
I have a
Wait a
no,
second.
it's an
Did
important
you,
disclaimer.
Time
It's-
out.
I'm glad
Time
we
out.
have
This is
that.
important.
Yeah.
Did you run that idea by your wife
No,
before you presented
no,
it to us?
not a chance.
Well, my wife knew I was because my wife couldn't, so I was like, I'm in charge of her. So
What was
it's-
Greg doing? Why couldn't Greg pitch in?
Yeah.
Dude, Greg.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Greg's also sick. He did go to the Heat game sick.
Oh,
He missed
boy.
bowling.
Uh,
Yeah,
Why
my-
didn't he
my-
stay in the car?
My dad's also sick. Everyone's sick right now.
Chris, you realize had you called your wife and told her I'm bringing our sick daughter to work, and here's the plan:
Yeah.
car, AC, garage, Kristen, she would have divorced you. I mean,
My wife would have assumed that she was coming inside
Yeah.
our studio for sure.
I have a question for you
I would have left
guys.
out the car part.
Yeah, yeah. Well, should have done that today too. I have a question for you guys that I want to interact with the audience on, and I have a hashtag if you want. So this, for me, was one of the strangest things that my daughter has ever cried for. Because kids cry for like the dumbest things, right? My daughter likes ketchup. She likes eating French fries with ketchup. Sometimes she'll just like dip her finger in the ketchup and just loves the taste
It's a
of ketchup.
common kid thing.
Yes. Okay. Now, we haven't gotten to the strange part yet. She likes hamburgers. We went and we got her a Happy Meal yesterday. We're like, do you want chicken nuggets? She's like, no, I want a hamburger. So we're like, okay. So then I said, naturally, I'm going to blow her mind. I'm going to put ketchup on this hamburger, and she's going to love it. Started crying.
not how it works.
As soon as I put ketchup on the hamburger, she started crying, and I said, this must be the strangest thing that I've gotten her to cry over, because this is a very normal thing that everybody does. Ketchup on a hamburger, started crying.
My daughter does that with cheese. Like, she loves string cheese and every form of cheese, but if you put, like, melted cheese on a sandwich, she's like, oh! I'm like, I'm telling you, you like this.
I'm enhancing the sandwich.
And like Billy, she doesn't give it a chance. She's just like, no, I don't want that. It's just like, I'm telling you, look at me.
Yeah.
I know this. This is my area.
Yeah.
Right.
Eat this.
This is Dad's wheelhouse.
I just put like a little dabble do just a little boop, like a little dot on there so that she could taste it and realize that she liked it. Then I could just put a mountain of ketchup on there because she loves ketchup. Didn't do it. So hashtag Stranger Things at us at Le Batard Show at all of us.
Hashtag was,
if you have a Stranger Things that your children have cried over or whatever, or you've cried over.
I get desperate when I really want my daughter to try something, and it gets really ugly. I'm just like, no tablet for a week unless you try this. Like, I start throwing out these fake threats that don't mean anything just because it's like, this is so absurd that you won't try this. I know you'll like this.
You're looking worse and worse by the minute here, Chris.
Oh, I'm just a human, all right, Roy? I'm not perfect like
It's
you.
just a human. Hashtag Stranger Things. I feel like we're going to get it to trend.
Do you have an example of something you wanted her to eat that she didn't eat? And
It's probably some sandwich with cheese on it because it's like, I don't understand this math you're doing. You like cheese.
Right.
This is delicious.
Everyone likes cheese. I'm with you on that.
Like, she doesn't want to eat a grilled cheese. I'm like, this
Lactose
is
intolerant.
grilled cheese.
You're lactose intolerant?
No, I'm just saying those who don't like cheese would.
Those are the only
Could
people,
be.
though. Right.
Yeah.
But the kid is telling you, hey, let me figure it out for myself. Like, I'll get to cheese when I want to get to cheese, not when Dad wants me to get to cheese, Chris.
I just feel like you ever like offer your child something and they try it. It's just such a good feeling when they're like, huh, this is, like I actually tried something. Oh, and you're right, this is good.
So, does your daughter feel better?
She's still sick, but we sent her today.
You did?
Get all the other kids sick.
Right. Hey, you're running around the house. Get to school,
I didn't want to send the text again.
Right. Listen, when you're sick from school and you stay home from school, you got to milk it. Like, you cannot be running around the house playing with the blocks.
You won.
You got to sit in bed. Yeah, you won for a day. But if you want multiple days, you just got to sit there and eat it.
But I don't think that his daughter's the age of faking sick to get out of school.
Yeah, it's more us telling her. Like, she doesn't even know to be like, I don't want to go to school. She just wakes up all snotty and we're like, no, she can't go.
But that's something you can teach her for a rainy day, okay? Hey, next time you're sick from school, act like you're sick, okay? Stop running around the house doing stuff.
Teach her how to lie about it.
Yeah, exactly
instead
right.
Instead of just getting the most genuine.
Very important skill. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. All right. You were going to say?
I'm just going to say that there was another disclaimer up there. Like, people don't have the context for these disclaimers.
What was the disclaimer?
It was just Chris does not threaten his kid. It's like, geez.
Oh, that's good. That's a good disclaimer.
What are we doing to me here?
Oh, there it is. Chris Cody does not threaten his child regularly. No, it's a good clarifier.
Tony, you won us money last night.
Come on, baby.
Against the spread.
Luka, Kyrie, and them boys.
That's exactly what the Mavericks are. Luka, Kyrie, and I can't name another player.
And Lively, who is dunking all over the place. I
Who
was like,
is that
who
guy?
is this guy? Derek Lively, sick.
I bet the game. What'd you think of Victor? And I said Victor because I don't want to pronounce his last name.
Wembanyama, yeah.
Wemby.
He was okay in the first half. He had a couple threes.
Yeah.
They're not working the offense through him. They're working through other guys that we can't name because we don't know who they are because of the Spurs, and they were terrible last year, right? Mm-hmm. But he had good spurts where he had 2-3 minutes where he blocked a shot. He came back, had a little back to the basket turnaround jumper. Like, there's stuff there that tells you, okay, this guy's pretty good, but it's going to take a lot for him to be like what everybody thought he was going to be.
I was expecting more. I watched that game just for him and because I had money on it.
Right, naturally.
But it's one game. The Bulls had a team meeting after a game, after a blowout loss. I don't want to overreact to one game. I don't know. Just so-so to me.
It's that he plays a lot of, like, outside in basketball, right? So he's shooting a lot of threes because that's what the NBA is now, shooting a lot of threes. So his first bucket in the NBA was a three, and it shows you how the game has changed so much where your 7'4" center is now scoring from the outside instead of scoring from the inside. And I think that was the biggest point for Wemby is if he can dominate the outside the way that we think he can because of his skill.
Do you think he can?
I think so. Like, nobody can block a shot.
Right.
He had centers Lively trying to block a shot who's 7 feet tall, and he was just shooting right over him. For me, the most important part of Wemby is can he go inside and score with the big boys inside? Can he break somebody off the dribble, take them into the lane, and score? He didn't really do that. He had a dunk where he didn't even jump. He just kind of put his arm up and dunked and got an and one. But it wasn't something where he's commanding inside the lane.
Boom, Tony. Boom. I'll start. Let's go to the polls, though. All right, we need to get to the polls here. We will get to those in just a second. We have Thursday Thunder as well. I'm not here on Thursdays normally, so I don't know what that means, what we do, how we do it. I mean, I'm not here on Thursdays. So.
Good sell.
I
just say we're going to do it and toss it, and then we'll just
I was just saying, just for you guys, I was telling you that I'm not normally here, so I don't know how we do this.
You said it to us off air as well. So
yeah,
I did. Well, I wanted to say it again in case you weren't listening.
Okay.
It's a Thursday parlay that we do, Stugotz.
Okay.
And it's been decent
All right.
recently.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's a big prize at the end. Oh, no, that's the other one.
We should do polls, though, first, I think.
You want to do polls?
Yeah,
Polls.
polls are more feeling like the show.
Let's do it.
And the polls are brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Epic razors, epically affordable. Find them in stores or online.
Okay.
You got the polls?
Yeah, you want me to do them? I'm here.
Yes.
Ready?
Billy's like, I'm not usually here. I don't know how this works.
Wait,
I'm not here on Thursdays. I don't know how the polls work.
I understand that. I'm not either.
Well,
so
you
I'm
historically
rusty,
are the one
right?
that read the polls, but
I
I'll
know.
read them. Yeah.
But you said before the segment started, you got the polls. I mean,
Yeah.
all right.
What's in brats? 70.5% of the audience said yes. 29.5 said no.
Our polls are wacky.
That seems that way. Does Josh McDaniels always go back to New England with Brian Hoyer?
What a great question.
95.7% of the audience said yes.
Really?
Yeah, same thing that's in
That
brats.
high?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Mike McDaniel look too cool for school? 71.6% of the audience said yes. What game should Lucy go to this weekend? Oregon versus Utah, Georgia versus Florida. Georgia versus Florida won 57.9%.
Nice. At the Landing.
Who do the Phillies
RIP.
hate more? Mad Dog or David Sampson?
Oh, this is a good one.
Mad Dog wins, which is weird because the Diamondbacks were the ones that hated Mad Dog. I guess they would hate Mad Dog because he inspired the Diamondbacks. That was
I
a
have
weird
no
poll.
idea.
Anyways, did Chris Cody play center for the Dolphins last week?
This is a biggie.
78.6% of the audience said yes.
Wow.
You did play center.
Congratulations.
Congrats, yeah.
How's that game check?
Big one.
Oh, my man.
What's the matter with you?
I have two more Billy clips that just emerged.
Get out of here.
Why?
I don't know.
All right, Billy was on the call for the FIU game last night. They lost. They haven't scored a point in the first quarter of either of the games that Billy has called.
Yeah.
Here's another clip.
1st and 10. Jenkins steps up in the pocket, floats it, intercepted. Oh, nope. Oh, dropped at the final moment. My goodness.
Don't worry, I did that last game.
he did. He yelled interception. And then it was not, it was Tarnu, the junior defensive back.
It should have been intercepted if it makes you feel any better.
It was on a platter for him.
You know what? Maybe the weather conditions came into play
Slippery
there.
football.
Yeah.
You know, it was raining half an hour ago. So that certainly affects it.
Unlikely,
Oh,
but
no, a trip here from Lawrence.
Weather?
Something's going on here.
Yeah. We have a dropped interception and a turf monster.
Why are they entertaining you?
The old turf monster. That one felt good because I botched that interception.
No, but I love
just to see someone like a professional could do it too.
Right.
It felt a little good.
I love you as the cagey vet who has called so many games. You're in the broadcast booth and you're soothing them when they make a mistake.
Well, we're a team.
Right.
We're a team.
Right. You're a team player.
Well, because it did look like it could have been an interception, but it fell. And last time there was a ball that looked like it was intercepted and it wasn't, and I botched it. Yeah,
right. But that was nice of you to say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I did it last game."
Weather came in.
He wants to do that for a living. You realize that, right?
Well, who's saying I don't?
Oh,
Yeah, that's right, Stu.
Right.
What if Billy's true
My bad.
calling is being a color commentator?
Yeah.
maybe it is. He's great.
Well, I actually went yesterday and I tried to print out because I noticed that when they call the games, and I've seen in all the pictures that like the football broadcasters have like this empty grid where they have like the number in each position and it's like depth charts. And I was as well as going in a suit yesterday, I was going to print out one of those grids all filled out to show them, but I couldn't figure out where to get a blank one, and I didn't want to ask them and be embarrassed by that. I actually almost reached out to Gojo, be like, "Hey, Gojo, you know this thing? I don't know what it's called, but like you guys that do it for real, where do I get one of those?"
Like the charts and stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't want to bother him.
Do you have a guy like spotting for you in the booth?
No, we didn't.
Really?
So last time Taylor actually was
Eyeballing
acting somewhat as a spotter, and we had like a split booth where we had the opposing team's radio broadcast, and we had like a divider in between us, and like they were really loud. Sometimes like the call would pick up their call, right? So it was really easy because we would just overhear everything that they were saying. So like there was a guy calling
repeating stats that you hear someone else say.
100%. Yeah, the guy was calling his 500th game. They were like super professional about it, and like they were like, "Oh, it looks like blah 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 is injured," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if you guys caught on, but it looks like blah 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 is injured." I was just repeat everything. That
Did you repeat if the meal's there, eat?
I made that one up.
Okay.
I made that one up.
How about fighting for real estate? That's a great term.
So they asked me
Awesome,
for
yes.
my keys to the game, and I just looked up football cliches. And then I made up the.
You don't say.
They made up the meal on the plate.
Wait, you didn't know?
Yeah.
You could have left that part out.
Yeah.
Can we hear the keys to the game first again?
No, that's
I just
long.
want to hear the keys. No, you can't go back to that?
I got one more here. Let's
All
do
right,
this
give me
one.
the final clip.
That QB sneak's so tough. Officials can't actually see anything. They're just guessing. And the benefit of the doubt was given there to Jack State, who's run the ball well enough.
Quite the accusation.
2nd and 10. Lewis.
I'm noticing a theme here. It's just they do it, and then Billy gives a snarky remark.
Not always.
It's like you hear
You
a bunch
just
of,
noticed,
bunch
huh?
of broadcasting, and it's just like, nah, I'm not so sure about that.
No. Taylor's picking and choosing.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
every single one is what you said you didn't do that much of. But it feels like every time you send something,
Well, it's a
you doing
3-hour
it.
game. There's hundreds of calls.
Right.
Stugotz, hot off the press.
Yes.
I'm being told we have good sound of Don LaGreca ripping Mad Dog
No way.
for his retiring, unretiring.
Really?
thing. So I feel like whenever that happens, we have to stop everything and play the clip.
Get to it
Hit it.
now.
Why can't we be critical? If he was right here, we could be critical of him.
You didn't respect him. You said
I've
you
lost a lot. I did.
respect.
I
That's
what? I
wrong
can't lose respect for somebody. I know the guy
No,
personally.
you shouldn't.
I lost some respect for him.
That's your elder.
It's
not
no,
his
stop
elder.
it. He's
What
not
are
my
you
elder. He's
saying?
he's my colleague. He's a contemporary. I'm sorry. No, I don't kneel and bow. He's a human being. I don't have to bow down and kneel to anybody, David. Get lost.
Here it goes.
Go scratch.
Yeah,
Give me a break. They opened the door. We kicked it down. All right? That was then. This is now. Enough already. Don't sit there and bow down to anybody. I mean, I like him, but I lost some respect for him. Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Why would this deity, this God that we got to pray to, have to do a stupid little college gimmick to get attention? Why? He's Chris Russo. He's God. He floats on air. Why would he have to do something stupid like guarantee he's going to retire and then rescind it immediately like a weakling? Why would he have to do that if he's Christ? Why?
Break it down, Billy.
Let's go.
Guy yelling in the background, "Let's go!"
It's so great.
People getting mad at him and wanting him to retire is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Samson did it yesterday.
He should retire. He said it. He should retire. It's like, yeah, okay, so he's going to just pass up millions of dollars because the Diamondbacks made it to the World Series. That's one of the dumbest
I
things.
mean, he did say he would do that.
Who
though.
cares?
But he was clearly
Listen,
lying.
who
Did anyone
cares?
take
Hey,
that seriously?
Chris, who cares? You do sports radio long enough, and he's done it for 30 years, 40 years. You know, eventually what you're going to say is, hey, if this happens, I retire.
Hey.
Right.
do it this weekend for something.
Okay, let me think. Hold on.
Like-
It's like you sending, hey, should I bring my kid in? You know you're not going to do it. You know our response is going to be no. Russo put out something where everyone knew he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Don LaGreca thought he actually was, that's on LaGreca, not on Russo.
respect.
I lost respect for LaGreca.
Whoa.
How about that?
Wow.
Enough of him.
But the funny thing is,
Hell yeah.
Don, please.
Let's go.
I lost respect. for
Doggy
him.
alone.
Okay, well, Mad Dog's gonna be really sad now that you've lost respect for him. Maybe he's gonna go back and retire so that he gains your respect back. I mean, get out of here. Who cares?
Why does Don care so much?
I don't.
Does Don care that much?
Don did not like the idea that he was called his elder, and that Don.
That's what set him off, Billy.
He really didn't like that.
He said, bow the knee. I don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
he's my colleague, my temper. Like,
yeah,
Floating on air.
All right, I gotta
he's
think of
Christ,
something
he
here.
said.
yeah.
What's the biggest spread in the NFL this weekend?
Oh, so
Do you guys know?
This is when we all look at
Okay.
our phones.
Well,
Sorry,
we
I'm trying to think of something where I could say,
We
hey,
have-
if this happens, I'm going to retire.
how about this? We have Thursday Thunder. Why don't you say if Thursday Thunder doesn't hit, you'll retire?
Dolphins -9 at home against the Patriots.
Thursday Thunder hits not very frequently, so I would say don't
Way to sell
don't
it, Billy.
hold it to that. It's hard. Betting's hard.
Well, thanks for that setup, Billy, because it's
Yes.
time for Thursday Thunder. We're going to Tony this week because we trust Tony for this type of thing. He's our gambling expert.
Gave us a winner last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thursday Thunder is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DAN when you sign up on the app for a limited time offer for new customers.
All right, gang. Just came out of the kitchen, hot and fresh. This Thursday Thunder is ready to go. We learned our lesson from last week. We love QB rushing overs. Derek Carr's over yesterday or last week on Thursday was 1 yard. He hit it. Now we're going back to the same well. Josh Allen over 21.5 rushing yards for Josh Allen is the first leg of our parlay. Second leg.
All right.
This game, sneaky shootout.
Oh,
I think both teams are ready for offense.
Interesting.
I think Josh Allen, embarrassed from last week,
Interesting.
is going to put it on the Bucks.
Sneaky shootout.
I didn't know you knew the game yet. I didn't know if he had given the game yet.
He did.
Yeah, it's Thursday night game. Bucks,
Yeah.
Bucks, Bills.
TNF.
Thursday
Anyways,
Thunder.
back
only
half
on Prime.
That's right. Back half of the secondary for the Bills hurt. A lot of guys injured there on that defense. We're going to go over Bills Bucks 43.5. Third leg of the parlay. Dawson Knox is out, wrist injury. He's going to be on IR. He's going to have wrist surgery. That means Dalton Kincaid, their first-round draft pick, is stepping into a full-time role for the Buffalo Bills. 3.5 is his receptions total. We're going to go over 3.5 for Dalton Kincaid, the boy. Those are our three legs. Josh Allen over, Bucks Bills over, Dalton over. We're having fun tonight.
More?
If Stanford beats Washington, I'm going to retire.
What?
Washington almost lost to Arizona State last weekend.
They did?
yeah, it was really close. I lost money on it.
Uh-oh.
Can I take it back?
Yeah, sure.
Michael Penix Jr. threw like 4 interceptions, I think.
Really?
It was not good.
If the Patriots beat the Dolphins
Don't
in
do that
Miami,
one. Don't do that
Dan
one.
will retire.
Okay.
Good. I mean, good for...
Yeah, wait, what?
Not for us.
What?
I didn't mean good.
Well, you said good.
Well, I mean, that's a good one by Chris. It was a good game to choose, is what...
Kick, save, and a butte.
Yes.
Right.
That's a weird.
Dan needs to get some rest.
He stopped the
I mean,
rebound,
We're
too.
here. Why not? Dan needs to rest. I mean, geez, that's all. That's what I meant by good. 2-week retirement. So-
He's resting in L.A.
He is?
I think. No,
They
It's
had to
called
sit
rest?
down, though. They had to sit down.
that's
Yeah.
a weird.
Sit down.
Not to make it super sportsy, but like that's a weird spread, right? Dolphins 9.5 over the Patriots. That seems big.
No. Dolphins
No?
are great at home.
Dolphins have been really good at home.
Look at the scores of the Dolphin games at home.
I'm with
I've watched
Billy,
the
though.
games, but
It's
I
a
know.
division game. That's a lot of points for a division game. I'm with Billy
and
on
Patriots
that.
looked good last week.
Well,
Dolphins.
I mean, they won a game last week. You keep saying they look good.
They
Like, they've
did.
been- I know, but
But
body of work has been bad.
Nobody is looking at that Patriots team and thinking that they have any kind of offense.
Oh, so
Like,
the Dol-
Mac Jones. If Mac Jones is fine, their offense is okay.
Also, the Dolphins scored 70 in a game this season. So
Yeah, but against the Broncos.
Meh.
Broncos are terrible.
Feels like
Yeah,
Billy's on
so
the
the Patriots.
Patriots.
I'm just saying
He's on the
that's-
points. It's right. What is
yeah.
Vegas trying to trick us about? Because that's the whole game. It's us versus them.
Yep.
Right?
It shouldn't be the biggest spread of the weekend, is what I'm saying. Like, that seems weird to
What
me.
should be?
Okay, well, let's go.
one
No,
by
but
one.
Billy, they've
Here we
won.
go.
They've
Go
won all
through
their
this.
whole game, home games by 21+ points. You realize that? So
Okay. Well,
Ravens at Cardinals -8.5. Should that be bigger?
Okay. Well, Chris says that, Tyreek Hill might not even play, so.
right.
Chargers.
I'm
I
taking
said,
the
last time
Dolphins.
I said that I was wrong. This one I feel better about. What was the one last week?
You
where I was
said
like,
you confirmed that
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence
Lawrence would not play,
right.
and then he started that
And then
night.
he started.
I was
And they
smart.
won.
And
This
they
time
won.
I was
And they
smart.
won.
This time I
Covered
was smarter.
all of
I
it.
said that he's questionable and likely not to play.
Can I ask you guys a question?
If he's not playing, I would take it right now
him
on that
up.
risk.
I honestly might take it right now just because it'll move if he gets ruled out.
That's
Take
what
the
I'm saying.
points,
Ahead
you're
of it,
saying?
right.
You take the points.
I'm-
You're
if-
taking the
New England
Pats right now.
If you're expecting Tyreek not to
Yeah.
play and that
It
hasn't
goes
been
to like
announced
plus
yet,
6.5.
If plus
Right.
9.5, take it right
There's
now.
no way
Right.
that line moves 3 points with a wide receiver.
But it'll move down a little.
Zero chance.
What if Waddle's not there because he hurt his
It
back?
could go
last
down to
week?
7.5, like 8.
All the top guys at sportsbooks say the biggest line movers are quarterbacks, obviously, but that a wide receiver, a offensive lineman, defensive line, those kind of things don't
Offensive
move the needle.
linemen don't move
they
the
don't
needle?
move the needle. They really
Yeah, but
don't.
Tony, this is the best non-quarterback division, best player in football.
Yes,
like
agreed.
everyone's saying.
I'm
that.
with you.
How much-
Take him out of the equation. That offense doesn't seem to be
Point and a
nearly
half.
as high
Still have
powered
Waddle.
as it's been.
Still got Waddle.
I know, but Waddle's banged up too. He is.
How much did the line move with Purdy?
That I don't know.
Oh, we were getting into the X's.
Yeah,
and O's.
we
Well, no, but I
All
want to
right.
ask you guys a question
Purdy's
because
in concussion protocol.
It's
so
he is,
it's
yes.
3.5 right now.
Yeah.
San Francisco
Right.
3.5.
But-
Maybe moved down from 5. I think it was 5.5 earlier when it opened.
my question for you guys is: I'm staring at the topic sheet that we have here, and I did not listen to anything that was said in the meeting.
Yeah, you're not great at those meetings.
Why is there a question that says should Brock Purdy retire?
I would assume that's probably a joke someone made because of the fact that when Tua got concussions, they said Tua
That
should
was
retire.
that was a sarcastic question of
Who
like,
asked that?
Are people? It was Jeremy, who's not here today.
Ah.
It was basically a sarcastic question of, hey, why aren't people telling Purdy to retire because he's had 3 injuries in 5?
Okay.
Granted,
Right.
not a head injury.
Should he?
Sure.
Where do we
I mean,
where do we land on
We're
that?
just asking the question.
We're just workshopping.
Did he ever get Tommy John to fix his UCL or no?
TJ.
Did he?
I saw on Bomani's podcast
That's
him
all
and
he had for you.
He just gave me like a shrug
Yeah.
on radio.
I saw Nick Wright and Bomani Jones doing they proposed a trade in the NFL, Brock Purdy for Kirk Cousins straight up.
Niners would do that.
Niners would be unbeatable.
The Niners were the ones that they said wouldn't do it because of how much money, because of how cheap Purdy is and how not cheap Cousins is.
Right.
That the Vikings would do that because then you get a younger guy who could be your next
I'm not
guy.
sold on Purdy, though. I'm sold on Kirk Cousins. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, according to Billy.
But is all of a sudden, like, Cousins has in a sweet spot right now where he's the good quarterback on a team that's bad. So people are like, he could be
Sneaky good, by
But
the
it's
way.
like, if you threw him on the Niners all of a sudden, is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Yes.
Multiple
Yes.
Super Bowls.
100%.
If he goes to the 49ers, he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right. It's fair.
Yeah, because if he goes and let's say
Guys,
he goes
he
and
gets
he
2
wins,
Super Bowls.
if Kirk
Right.
Cousins wins 2 Super Bowls in his career, which
First
is
ballot.
unlikely because
First
of the fact
ballot.
he probably has 5 or 6
We've
years
seen
left.
Kirk
maybe.
Cousins on good teams, though.
No,
the
not a
Vikings
team like
couple
that.
years
Not
they were
like
13
that.
and
Not
0
the
last
Niners,
year.
Chris.
Not like that.
Obviously not the Niners, but good teams.
Well, the question though with Kirk Cousins on the Niners, and it's something that Chris Sims has told us, is Kyle Shanahan doesn't want someone that wants to be the guy. He wants someone to fit his system. So if Kirk Cousins wants to be the guy, he may not fit that system.
Right. He wants what he has now in Purdy or
Yeah.
Garoppolo type guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want a great quarterback.
I just love this conversation.
So
Look at us
weird.
talking football.
No, but it's so weird. Like,
If
think
Kirk
about
Cousins
that.
wins 2 Super Bowls, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No question
Yes,
in my mind.
agreed.
Oh, aren't most quarterbacks?
Eli
Like, what?
Eli won 2 Super Bowls.
He's not first ballot though.
Yes, he is. Eli's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Check the score.
Take it away, Dan.